Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel. Okay, for the first time, let me introduce myself. My name is Diana Kartika and my friends Fakinah Ruziko. We are from Biology Education of Syekh Kuala University. Okay, today we are going to discuss improving creative thinking skills and scientific attitude through inquiry-based learning in basic biology lecture toward students of biology education. Okay, the first time I will start about our presentation from introduction. In this globalization era, the world is changing rapidly. This change brings new requirements for education. Education needs to be developed according to the needs of the communities. They want school to equip students with 21st century skills such as creative thinking skill and scientific attitude. Okay, let's see what the meaning creative thinking and scientific attitude. Creative thinking skill is defined as about applying imagination in facing given problems, thinking systematically in expressing idea and solving the problem. While the scientific attitude can be regarded as a conflict of value and norms which is held to be binding on the scientist. Okay, a scientist helper stated that the main goal for creative thinking instruction is not only to educate students to be wise consumers of research, but also to be able to apply the principles of scientific thinking in their daily instruction. And now, let's see about component of scientific attitude. Scientific attitude has three basic components. They are the belief, feeling, and action. Okay, a scientist helper stated that the main goal for creative thinking instruction is not only to educate students to be wise consumers of research, but also to be able to apply the principles of scientific thinking in their daily instruction. And now, let's see about component of scientific attitude. Scientific attitude has three basic components. They are the belief, feeling, and action. And then, let's see what are obstacle factor of 21st century skill. The first point is ineffective learning method, and the second point is at least authentic scientific learning activities that affect student motivation and achievement. And now I will explain how inquiry-based learning can play in developing 21st century skills. Inquiry-based learning encourages students to be able to learn certain concepts in science actively by solving given problems themselves. So they are not passively receiving the knowledge from the lecturer. Arendt stated that students are able to gain knowledge, develop thinking and reasoning skills, enhance metacognitive skill, and the last build positive attitudes. Okay, the next slide. I want to explain about methods in this study. The method used in this study include: the first is a descriptive quantitative research. The number of research subjects was determined as minimum as possible. However, it was assumed that it can bring a comprehensive data. During the learning activity, the student creative thinking skill and scientific attitude were evaluated. And then, in the study, the students were given a scientifically inquiry-based learning activity. Concepts taught in the first and the second meetings were about cell structure and cell transport. Next, students were guided to observe and identify the cell structure in the laboratory. And the last, data of student creative thinking skill was analyzed descriptively. Okay, in this inquiry-based learning process, student creative thinking skill focus on two indicators, namely flexibility and originality were measured using test instruments. Okay everyone, for the explanation of the next slide, my friend will continue. Thank you.
Okay, thanks to Miss Diana. Okay, I'm sure I'll explain this presentation in future. Next, I will explain about that result. Here has been listed a classical percentage graph of students' scientific activity. According to the data shown above, students reached high enhancement of creative thinking skill. That high enhancement of creative thinking skill might be supported by students' high motivation during the learning process. It is caused by learning environment provided by this learning method was contextual and authentic that was capable to increase students' learning motivation. Sujana and Rifai stated that students are motivated to learn if educators not only teach verbally but also give interesting and fun learning activities. Albert Learning and eBay also said that contextual learning and environments are able to create meaningful learning experiences. Students can study, build knowledge, and develop skills themselves. The inquiry-based learning process is also proved that was capable to enhance students' creative thinking skills since they are faced several authentic problems during the learning activity by having a research about plasmolysis and the plasmolysis on rhodoscolor cells. However, the result of pretest on this research indicate that students' creative thinking skill which met low criteria was caused by a learning habit. Students were not used to having pretest before start a learning process, and they were not also used to actively examine the concept themselves. Therefore, by implementing this learning activity, it also tried students to be active ones, building knowledge and skill themselves. Next discussion, the implementation of inquiry-based learning on basic biology lecture provided contextual learning activities in which students are faced to have a research. Several students also argued that an active learning activity was motivated higher than a passive activity such as when lecturer only share the knowledge by giving the speech in the class, since they can study by doing and finding solution of problems themselves. Therefore, the observation results shows that there scientific attitudes were excellent. In conclusion, according to the findings obtained in this current study, it can be concluded that inquiry-based learning is able to improve creative thinking skill and scientific attitudes in basic biology lecture toward students of biology education at IAIN Jember. Well, thanks a video presentation from us. If there is an error, we apologize and thanks for watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.